Right, I think we're there again. I'm just going to refresh my screen on my iPad and let's see if I'm around the right way this time. As you may have gathered, I'm extremely new to all this. It's interesting how difficult it's been. It's interesting how kind people have been. And it's just mad. Okay, I can see my iPad. It looks as if things are okay there. Right, so today has not been as I expected, and I'm so sorry I'm late. On Saturday, my son had a motorcycle accident. Thankfully, it was not nearly as bad as it could have been, but he has a severe gash to his lower leg. It's literally down to the bone. He was in A&E on Saturday and they said he needed an operation urgently, but then they couldn't do it, so they sent him home. He had to go back yesterday. He spent the entire day at the hospital yesterday waiting for an operation, and they sent him home because they said that they couldn't do it. He's gone again today, and we've had a message to say that he is definitely going to have it done today. But I've spent quite a lot of time this morning trying to talk to the hospital, trying to talk to his GP and trying to make sure it gets done, because the injury is severe and potentially could become life-threatening if it gets infected. So I'm trying not to be distracted, and I'm delighted to be with you here today. I have left my phone on, I'm afraid, so if there is a call through, I'm going to have to stop and take it, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. You know what they say about the best laid plans, but hopefully everything's going to go as I hoped, and I will be able to show you the new in colours. I've got a lot of sunshine in my craft room today, which is absolutely glorious, but it's not great for filming. So we'll manage as best we can, and let's see how we get on. So the new colours. Those of you who've already received your catalogues, I know will have seen these already, but for those of you that haven't, then here they are. So we have Bumblebee, which is a beautiful golden yellow, colour of sunshine really. I absolutely love this one. Then we have Cinnamon Cider, which is a mid-brown. It's sort of a tan. It's a nice colour of tan. I mean, there's tan and there's tan, isn't there? This is a really useful mid-brown, not like anything we've got, so I think that's going to fit in with the other colours really well. This is Just Jade, which is a beautiful colour. It's greener than Coastal Cabana, and it's greener than Pretty Peacock and not quite so dark as Pretty Peacock. It's beautiful, really lovely. If you like greens and jades and teals, you're going to love this one. This is Misty Moonlight, which is the dark side of mid blue, but it's not a very dark blue. It's not as dark as Night of Navy, and it's very hard to explain, and I'm sure you won't be able to see it on camera, but it almost looks as if there is almost a whitewash effect over the blue. It really is a misty colour. It's very hard to explain and very beautiful in person. And then finally, probably my favourite is Magenta Madness. Those of you who know me well know that bright pink is my absolute favourite colour, closely followed by yellow. And this is a really fabulous magenta pink, very vivid. It's going to look lovely with lots of other colours. And as I have the colours there for you to see all together, you can see that certainly for me, magenta and moonlight are an obvious two to go together. Moonlight and jade look beautiful together. So does cider and bumblebee. But you know, you can move them around. Blue and yellow is a lovely combination. So there we've got bumblebee and misty moonlight. For something a little bit more masculine, you can have Misty Moonlight and Cinnamon Cider, and so on. And you can play with these endlessly. So we obviously have card and ink and marker pens in those colours, and you're going to be able to order those from Wednesday. You can't order them today, I'm afraid, but you can order them from Wednesday. And if you've got your catalogue in front of you, I'm not allowed to show you the inside of my catalogue until Wednesday, but if you've got your catalogue, you'll be able to find the card and ink on page 141. Now we've also got 6 by 6 inch packs of patterned paper. What you get in the paper is lots and lots of sheets. I can tell you, hang on, I should know this by heart, but I don't yet. 40 sheets, there we go. There's 40 sheets over 5 colours, and there are 4 different designs. So you've got 5 colours, you can see them all here. Each paper has got 2 sides to it, and you get 8 sheets in each colour 4 of each of the pieces you can see here in front of you. So this first one, I'm hoping that the camera will pick it up. It's got writing on it in a number of languages. It's a very small font and it's very slightly distressed, so it's not immediately obvious what the words are other than that it's typeface. So that's quite nice, it's quite subtle. And on the other side is a sort of a wood grain effect. The other piece in each colour has got polka dots on it, and these have got a kind of a stripe to them. Again, I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up. I'm aware there's also shadow, which doesn't help. And on the back is a sort of distressed look, perhaps a bit shabby chic. Somebody described it to me as. Very, very usable, that one. And then we have the same patterns in all the colours. And you get all of these patterns and all of these colours in the pack of paper. And they're an absolutely brilliant complement to card and ink in the same colours, or indeed to card and ink that you've already got in your stash, because any of the blues will go with this beautiful Just Jade, any pinks will go with the Magenta Madness, and so on. And you can find this pattern paper in your catalogue on page 144. Here we go, the last one is Bumblebee. Isn't that just the best name for a colour? I really like that. There we go, so that's the patterned paper. I haven't got the ink pads to show you. I haven't got mine yet, although I will be ordering them on Wednesday. But let me show you some ribbon. So this ribbon comes on a roll of one colour. It's 1/4 of an inch wide. I've got it in 3 of the colours, although it is available in all 5 colours. So there's the Magenta Madness, the Just Jade and the Bumblebee. These are beautiful. They tie really nicely. Let me quickly tie a bow and show you. There we go. No pressure then, tying a bow on camera. Okay, there we go. It's soft, but it's also got a little bit of body to it. So it's soft enough to tie nicely, and it's got enough body to actually sit there beautifully. You get just over 9 meters of ribbon on a roll, and it's 1/4 of an inch wide, as I say, and this is lovely. And once again, whether or not you go for card, paper, ink and ribbon in all the new ink colours, or you just want a few bits and pieces to add to what you already have, these are really, really usable colours. They're some of the nicest ink colours we've had in absolutely ages. If you didn't know, every year Stampin' Up! Adds in 5 new colours, and we have them for only 2 years. So they don't join our core colour families, they stand alone. And we will also have the one that we've had for 2 years. That will then drop out as we get the new colours. The idea behind them is that we can include colours which have become popular in fashion and home decor and so on, and keep everything very up to the minute, whilst also filling in potentially a few gaps in our core colour families. So that's how they get to these. And if you look online, I normally say if you go into the department stores, of course we're not doing that at the moment, but if you look online, if you go on Pinterest, if you look at current trends, you will see all 5 of these colours really strongly shown. Right, so that's the ribbon. It's beautiful, really lovely ribbon. If you like things ready done for you, then something that I can highly recommend are the Memories and More card bases. So I'll show these to you now. So this is the Magenta Madness one. They come flat like this, but with a score line. So to fold them, it's very, very easy. And they've got this lovely dotted line on the front, which you can obviously cover up, but you can also use to frame things. Our Memories and More cards, which you'll also find in the catalogue, will fit within here perfectly. The small ones and the larger ones will fit on the card front, covering over the frame. These cards are white inside. They're coloured front and back. And they come with envelopes which have an inside flap in a matching pattern. It's really, really nice. So no need to line your envelopes. They look just beautiful. And again, I will show you, I'm hoping you're not fighting the sunshine too much. I'll show you the Misty Moonlight, the Just Jade, Cinnamon Cider, and Bumblebee. So those are really lovely. If you want a closer look at those are in your catalogue on page 154. Now, I'm sure you'd like to see some projects that I've made with these. So I'm indebted to Jackie Bolhus, who is another Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, who created some really lovely cards using the Memories and More card bases, and I have been very much inspired by her to make these. So I've made one in each colour to show you. I've used the Poppy Moments dies to cut the flower here, and I don't know if you can see here, there's some background foliage here. These are from a new set of dies called Forever Flourishing. I will be showcasing those dies for you in a video that's coming here on, let me just check, Friday. So if you check back on Friday, you'll be able to get a much closer look at these. But I've cut these out of vellum. All the die cuts, the detailed die cuts, I didn't with the white here, but all the detailed die cuts, I actually stuck the new adhesive sheets on the back of the card before I die cut it. And that means that when you peel the backing off, then you already have adhesive over the back of the entire die cut shape, which makes sticking down some of these fine and fiddly shapes really, really easy. I highly recommend you have a look for those. They're on the adhesives page in your catalogue. Really, really useful. So I die cut some foliage out of vellum and stuck it down on top of a piece of the patterned paper, which, as you can see, I cut small enough to show that really nice printed frame around it. I've cut the stamens out of a contrast, and I've cut the actual flower itself out of the same colour as my card base. In this case, it's Bumblebee. I've stamped all the wording in basic grey. I obviously would have chosen one of the in colours if I'd got my new ink pads, but choosing a neutral works really well. I've just cut a little banner here to stamp on. And the words are from a new stamp set called Blossoms in Bloom, which you will be able to see here tomorrow. I've got a video for you really showing all sorts of things that you can do with this set, and I particularly like it because of the fact that it has both images and flowers, images and words in it, and really useful sentiments as well. Happy birthday, thinking of you, get well soon, thank you, as well as a few others. So it's a really handy stamp set, that one, so you might want to take a look at that and have a look at tomorrow's video. So here's the Bumblebee card. And then I've done another one using cinnamon cider. I'm really hoping the shadows aren't in your way. It's a problem. I don't have blinds in here. Let me see if I can move that camera just a little bit. I don't know if that will help. That might be a little bit better. Let's just see. Okay, so cinnamon cider. There's the Magenta Madness one, my favourite colour. Here's Misty Moonlight. And I've changed the sentiments on them. So I've got a selection, and Just Jade. So 5 cards there, all the same design, but one in each of the new ink colours, and it's a really pretty design. So thank you very much, Jackie, for your inspiration on that. Right, now if you have had a catalogue sent to you already by me, in there you will have found a card kit. And I'm going to talk about that now. If you haven't had a catalogue sent and you would like one and you don't already have a demonstrator of your own, I'm very happy to send you one. Just contact me. You can send me a Facebook message, or you can email me at handmadeathome@hotmail.co.uk, and I will happily send you one out. If you do have a demonstrator that you know already, then do ask her or him, and I'm sure they will send you one out. So this is the card that you got in your pack, but you might have had one of a selection of colours, so I sent out a whole variety of colours, and I'm just going to make one for you now on camera so that you can see what I did. It's very simply made with a card base and layers in one of the new ink colours, a selection of the patterned paper in a contrasting ink colour, and then some card to stamp on with your own sentiments. And if your sentiments were too big, you can actually stamp onto this layer of patterned paper here. As long as your ink is dark enough, that will show. You will have received some written instructions with these and a little photograph, but I know some people don't like to work from instructions, so I will give you a quick demonstration now. Here's the version in Misty Moonlight and Magenta Madness, and as I say, there were several selections of colours that went out, so it was potluck as to which one you got, but I hope you're pleased with it. This thank you is from that set I just showed you, Blossoms in Bloom, and on this one I used the Happy Birthday from Itty Bitty Birthdays. That's a set which was in the catalogue before, and it's carrying over to the new catalogue, so you can order either of those if you want to. This embossed layer is absolutely beautiful. It's made with a new embossing folder called Tasteful Textiles. Now, I have no idea how well this will show up. This is the image that's on the packaging, which you may be able to see. If I can bring that up, I don't know if that makes it easier or harder to see. But I will show you an actual embossed layer as well, which was inside the little card kits. This is one of those embossing folders that is super useful because it will work with absolutely anything else. It's not one which screams, you know, birthdays or celebrations. It's a pretty gender neutral one, and the texture on it is lovely. So I'm going to hold that up a little bit more and just see if you can see. Again, I apologise for the shadows. I'm going to have to try and find an alternative for filming in the morning. As you can imagine, with people working at home, it's quite difficult to find anywhere that is quiet enough to record a live video. So we're working with what we've got here. All right, so that's the embossing, but it's a beautiful embossing folder. It's one I know I'm going to be using a lot. So if you had opened up your kit and not made your card, or if this is the first time you're opening your kit, this is what you'll find in it. You'll find a card base, and inside that I've put a piece of Whisper White for your insert. Then you'll have a layer which I've embossed for you using the Tasteful Textile embossing folder. And then you'll find various pieces of contrast card, and each one has a piece of patterned paper that will fit on them. And of course you are free to have whichever side of your patterned paper you want showing on top. So you've got a big rectangle like that, you've got a square, and again you can have either of those showing. And then you've got a smaller rectangle like that. Then you've got a piece of white card which is for your sentiment if your stamps fit on that. And you've also got two of the new in colour enamel dots. So these come in a little pack with each colour represented. There's 100 of them in all. So that means you get 20 of each colour, and you'll find those in the catalogue on page 158. They are teeny tiny. If you think they're not in your envelope, then please go into your envelope, because they very often work their way into the corner, and that's where they will stick, and it will be why they didn't tip out with everything else. Right, I'm going to start off with some stamping. I've got a block here with the thank you from the Blossoms in Bloom stamp set, and I'm going to use Night of Navy ink to stamp my thank you. I'm just working at the top here to just try and keep it in the sunshine where you can see what I'm doing. Right, so I'm going to stamp that thank you on my card. There we go. And I'm also going to stamp it on this little strip of white because it will fit on here. I always use my grid paper to help me line things up straight. It's absolutely fabulous. I don't think I can do that at arm's length, so I'm going to have to come down a little bit. I'll show you once I've stamped it. There we go. Let's put that up there. I'm going to fiddle with the camera again, so look away if you get seasick. I'm going to see if I can get a better view with a little bit less shadow. It takes a moment for me to be able to see on my iPad if that's actually helped or not, so bear with me. Very, very awkward. I don't want to shut out the sun. No, I think that's worse actually. Let's move further away, because I'll be gluing at arm's length, but I think I can do that. So let's try. Let's see if that's going to work. Right, I'm going to move the camera again. You can tell this is live, can't you? You don't get this on the BBC. There we go. Let's again wait for my iPad to catch up. Let's see if that's any better. Ooh, I'm sorry. That's really wibbly wobbly, isn't it? Okay, that gives me a little bit more workable space. So let's try working over there. Remove that bit of washi tape that I've been using, oops, to just mark out my grid paper, but otherwise I will try and do something on top of it and I will have an uneven surface to work on. Right, where were we? Okay, so I've stamped the insert, I've stamped my little slip of card, and I'm now just going to start gluing things together. So I'll pop my insert inside. That'll just get it off the tabletop and out of the way. I almost always use the multi-purpose glue for gluing because it stays wet for a few minutes, which allows me to slide things and fix them nicely in place. straight and with even borders. So there we go, that's my insert in place. If you like to use snail, snail will hold this perfectly well. And you may or may not know, but snail is discontinuing, so it is not in the new catalogue. We are going to get an alternative, which you will be able to find in there, and the name has completely escaped me. Seal, that's it. I knew it was something to do with wildlife. Seal is the replacement for snail. You can also buy a new one, and then you can buy refills for it. I do have quite a reasonable stock of snail refills here at home, so if you want to continue using your snail for a little bit longer, then by all means contact me and I can get some refills to you. I think I've also got one last entire snail as well, so that's that. But once they're gone, they're gone. And we will be moving on to seal. I haven't got my seal yet. I haven't been able to order it yet, but I will be. I'm told that it is superior to snail and that you'll be very pleased with it. So hopefully you will be able to experiment and find out what happens. But if you want snail refills, just let me know. So that's my insert glued into my card base. Next, I'm going to glue on my embossed layer. I don't think it really matters which side of this you have uppermost. I've had a look, I can't really see much difference between one side or the other once it's embossed. If you know any different, please do tell me. There we go. And I should say that I haven't even looked to see if there are any comments, but if you make a comment on this page, I will be picking a random commenter and I will post out this card I'm making now to you with my compliments. So if you would like to receive the card I'm making, then make sure you leave a comment, and I'll use a random number generator, pick a comment and post it out to you. And if I haven't already got your address, I will be in touch and make sure that I get it so I can post you the card. So where are we? Let me see if I've got any. Can't see any comments, but who knows, sometimes they just don't show up. I'll definitely go through afterwards and have a look then. Right, so I'm going to glue this one down. Now, when it comes to putting your layers on, you can actually put these anywhere you like. On my card that I've already made, I've got them placed over towards the right and slightly up from centre. But I could, of course, put this over this side. I could put it completely centrally. I could put it anywhere. Let's put this one in the centre just for a bit of variety. So I leave it entirely up to you how you do that. So I'm putting it centrally side to side, and I'm actually putting it very slightly up from the centre, so the band at the bottom is very slightly wider. If you ever look at a picture that's in a mount, you will find that the bottom of the mount here is normally wider than the top edge of the mount, because visually that just looks better. And so I tend to do that when I'm making cards. It may only be, you know, a matter of a few millimeters, but I tend to just leave a little bit wider gap at the bottom here than I do at the top here. Right, so that's that attached, so I'm not going to lose anything. Let me match up these other layers with their respective pieces of card. I'm hoping you'll find it easy to match these because the shapes are all very different in size. One, and then let's do this one. And again, of course, you can choose which one of these patterns you have showing. I don't know if anybody's actually crafting along with me. Let me know if you are. Although whether I'm actually going to be able to see the comments, I don't know. I'm just refreshing my iPad screen just to see if I can see. Usually I can see the comments on here, but I'm not seeing anything come up today. But then life is strange. Sometimes technology doesn't watch. Oh, I can see Pam is there. Hi Pam, nice to see you. Ah, now I am showing some comments. Perhaps they just took a little while to come through. I've just clicked for those to come up. Oh, and can you hear me talking to myself there? Let me turn the volume down. There we go. That should improve. We don't want double Sally. Oh, Louise, hi. Right, I can see these. That's great. Hi, Louise. Hello, Belinda. Good morning. Hi, Pam. Hello, Kay. Nice to see you. Suzanne, my goodness. Suzanne is... I don't know, what are you, Suzanne? You're married to my cousin, and we're very good friends, and it's lovely to have you here crafting along with me. Fabulous. Okay, so now I'm going to stick this one down. So again, I could place this one here. It could go over here. It could go down there. Depends a little bit where I'm going to want to put that one. For me, this bigger one needs to go somewhere, yeah, somewhere about there, I think. So let's just glue that one down. Make sure it's straight. Can you see me slide that? That's because I've used that liquid glue. It actually adheres really, really quickly, but you do get a little bit of wriggle room with it, which is really helpful. And then I'm just going to put this one across. So I could put that down there. I could put it up here. Let's go down here. I think about there looks right to me today. Something like that. There we go. And let's put my words on there too. Okay. You can be very economical with this glue. It doesn't need a great deal, and of course because it's a liquid it's going to squidge out a little bit when you actually press it down. So I always do a little line around the edge, not too close to the edge, and it doesn't need very much to stick, so don't go wild with it. A member of my team, Carol, is a bit of a glue police person, police officer. She's very, very good. She's quite right in that you don't need to use an awful lot of glue. I'm failing to get that enamel dot off. Let me use my scissors. And she quite often reminds me when I use too much. So I do always think of Carol when I use my glue. Right, that one has flicked somewhere. Okay, luckily I've got spares. Oh gosh, eat your heart out, Blue Peter. Right, okay, so let's pick up one of these. It's also really hot in my craft room, and actually I will show you when you use these and it's hot, if you push them down first before you try and pick one up, that can help. I've got the windows shut because all of a sudden, with the lockdown beginning to ease, we've got a lot of traffic coming past the house. It's been really nice and quiet recently, and all there's been is bird song. But today there's a lot of traffic, so I've shut all the windows, but oh my goodness, it's hot in here. And I think the dots are beginning to come off the adhesive. So yeah, if it's hot where you're crafting, press this down. This works for all our little self-adhesive embellishments. It works for the rhinestones. It works for everything, so that's quite a good tip. But if all else fails, if they come off without the sticky dot, just a little dot of this glue will stick them down nicely. Right, so after that little interruption, that is my finished card. Let me bring in the others that I made. So I've made 2 thank you cards, happy birthday card. So some of you will have had one of these kits in with your packs. And I hope you enjoy making them. Now that is everything I wanted to say. I think I've probably been online quite long enough. If you've got any questions, do please leave them in the comments, and I will come back and have a look at everything later and answer any questions. And I will also pick a random comment and I will send you the card I've just made, which is the Moonlight and Jade one. So enjoy this week. I'll be back tomorrow with a video and several projects using the Blossoms in Bloom stamps and dies. And enjoy the sunshine if you can. Thank you so much. Bye bye.